Hey guys, I thought I would do my first how-to video. I just got a new ukulele in today. Seems to be kind of a common thing nowadays, but I don't get no less excited. Anyways, the last time I had a Magic Fluke ukulele, it was actually a Flea soprano. I had two of them. I put straps on them, regular straps, and then actually made some custom straps for them. But I figured I had a whole bunch of questions on how I had done that, and I figured it'd be a good opportunity to make a little video and show y'all how I did that. Okay, if anybody would like to do that themselves, they of course are more than welcome to. I got rid of my squeaky chair, so hopefully it won't. Well, I shouldn't have said that. That way, if I farted, I could have blamed it on the chair. Hindsight, you know what I mean? Alright, I've actually got a smaller strap here that I'm planning on putting on this one. This is going to be my travel uke, and I want to keep it as compact as possible. I actually already started on this project before I thought about doing the video, so I've actually already drilled my hole. Okay, but I'll tell you what I used, and well, I mean, I can even stick it back in there and act like I drilled it if you want me to. But anyways, I've got I actually used a 5/32 drill bit. It's a little small. This is going to be a little snug to pull my rope through. You can use a little bit bigger of a drill bit. The thing is you want to size your drill bit for the size of rope that you're going to be pulling through your ukulele. I actually used some. This is essentially shoelace material. It's you want to use a plastic material instead of a cotton or something. I always like to melt the ends on my knots. A cotton could work a knot unloose and come untied on you. With the plastic type shoelaces, ropes, you can even use paracord. With those types of things, you can melt the ends of the rope, and it will keep it from coming unraveled or untied. You can actually, make your little ball end over there. So anyways, let me set this back down. I've already done that, and like I said, I actually just tied the end on the end of this rope here, and made me interesting. It'll make me a little double ball end piece of twine there, or a piece of rope, and it's got you can see I've got a loop there. My loop is about 5/8 of an inch long when it's doubled over. That's the size that I wanted. You can adjust that depending on what type of fastener or whatever that you're wanting to put onto this. And I'll give you some ideas of that in the video too, of how to fasten it onto this loop. What's going to be happening is after you have drilled your hole in your ukulele, how do you decide where to put the hole? Okay, that's just kind of up to you. I did kind of the same thing on my fleas. I didn't want it right on the side. I didn't want it right on the very back. But at the same time, I wanted it to be able to hang where the ukulele will be well balanced. Up here on the headstock, your neck is attached at the front of the ukulele, so you want to be back toward the back of the ukulele. I've actually chose right in the middle of the curve. Right in the middle of this curve, I put my way I measured to see how far up my ukulele. I went right in the middle of this curve, and I set my end here for my strap, and I didn't want my strap to hang down below my ukulele, so my ukulele would still, set flat and everything with the strap on it. I didn't want to interfere with that in any way. That's one of the amazing things about these ukuleles. You don't want to put nothing on the bottom of it. So that's how I measured where to put my hole at. And then I actually first started with a little bitty tiny drill bit. Okay, and I do that. You do that so that you can get a pilot hole started. If you try using the bigger drill bit just to start it, it's very possible that on this plastic it'll want to run with you. So if you'll drill you a little pilot hole, if you only got one drill bit, you know, the size that you need, then try to take you a nail or a pin, push pin, something like that, and make you a little indentation, you know, right where you want to put your drill hole, and that'll help you keep it precise when you put your drill on there. And when you put your drill on there, put it onto the let me try to get up here where you can see what I'm doing. Put it on the little pilot, you know, hole or the little dimple that you made, and then, you know, just drill it out. That's all you got to do. After that, you might want to take a little knife or something like that and actually smooth the outside of the little hole down if there's any like little plastic shavings or anything like that. Don't wallow your drill bit around unless you just need to make your hole bigger and you just don't have another drill bit. I've done that kind of stuff before too. You do what you got to do to get your little hole in there. You could even, this is a pretty thick plastic, so I don't really know if I would try to, normally you can kind of melt a hole in with a nice sharp object, but at the same time this is a thick plastic, very heavy duty, well made plastic. I wouldn't recommend trying to melt your way through it. Get a drill, get us, you know, some type of drill bit, or find somebody, a neighbor, a friend. You bug them long enough, they'll drill the hole for you, so you'll leave them alone. But anyways, that's how I got my placement, and that's how I got my hole. Okay, so that's caught us up to where I'm currently at. And now what I'm needing to do, okay, see, now I almost lost my thing. Normally I'd be keeping everything together up here on my desk, and I hope to get things a little bit better situated if I'm going to be trying to do these types of videos and things to be able to show things better. I just don't really have a little mobile camera or nothing like that right now, and I'm using my tablet to film with, and I don't really have nothing to hold it at the correct angle to be able to show you my desk and stuff. This would be impossible for me to do one-handed. Okay. The only things that you really need to do this, to install this little loop into this hole, the only thing that you really need is you will need a ukulele string. It's really the best thing. If you got some fishing line or something, of course you can use that. I always keep take your old ukulele strings off, you know, throw a few of them back, just cause you never know when they're going to come in handy, especially inside of you're working inside of a ukulele or something. What we're wanting to do here is we're wanting to tie, well wait, I don't want to tie it. See, I almost messed up. All right, we don't want to tie it yet. All right, the first thing we want to do, okay, is I'm going to take this ukulele string or fishing line, whatever you got. It needs to be something that'll slide really easy and a lot smaller than the hole. You're wanting to feed this into the ukulele, and we're going to feed in enough that we can try to fish it out the sound hole here. Okay, see, this is why I need something better set up. Let me set my little thing down there, as long as I don't lose it. I put it where I'll remember it, and I'll lose it every time. We'll see how it goes. All right. I'm trying to get it out the sound hole. Now this right here can be a little aggravating. You just keep feeding enough of the line in, it'll generally pop down there where you can see it. I already see it there. Okay. Now we need to fish it out. Put two of your fingers right in the exact same string, and you might be able to reach in there and grab a hold of it, just like that. You can also use you some needle nose pliers or something like that to get down in there. If you need to, take your strings off. That'll give you a whole lot more room of getting your fingers, down into the sound hole to be able to get this other end of the fishing line. Now, as you can see, I still got this end of the fishing line coming out the hole. The other end of the fishing line is coming out the sound hole. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to tie our little piece of loop. All right. You can see I knotted that on each end, and what I did is after I knotted it and cut it, I took my lighter and just melted the end a little bit. You don't want to melt it where it's hot dripping or nothing, or on fire. just take your lighter and run under it a couple of times. Matter of fact, let me just show you how I do that, so you know about how long it takes to melt it. It doesn't take but just a second. Take my lighter, do like that over the little ends. Don't touch it right away because it could be hot plastic. Let it sit there and cool. You might want to blow on it to cool or anything like that. But you just want to, just enough to get the little frayed ends melted back into the ball, and that will also make the ball stick, where you can't untie. Tie those knots very tight, as tight as you can. Generally what I do, that one of the easiest ways to get them tight without having to try to have a long piece of string and wrap around your hands and pulling, is tie your knot, and then I put my fingers on the string, and then pull the knot along the string, and that will actually help it to pull tight and take up all the slack inside the knot. All right, now we're ready. We want to tie this onto our fishing line. You want to tie it onto the piece that's coming out of the sound hole. Okay, let me set it up here so that you can see. Don't pull your line all the way out, okay? Be careful of that. You're going to be here working trying to tie this on. It's real easy to pull your line out, and if you pull your line out, you're going to have to untie it and rerun it back through and refish it back out the sound hole. Ask me how I know. All right, so make sure we don't lose that. We just want to tie a good knot here, because you don't okay, and this is how you choose your hole. All right, you want to tie a good knot here, as I was fixing to say, because this is going to be a little hard for me to get it pulled back through the hole. How do you pick what size hole to drill? All right, when I got this little thing doubled over, got the 2 knots. Well, those 2 knots are going to be inside the ukulele when I'm done. They're going to be inside that hole, and the loop is going to be sticking outside the hole. And we got to get our hole the right size. It's got to be big enough that we can get this loop pulled back through it, okay? But it's got to be small enough that our knots can't come through the hole. All right, does that make sense? Let me show you here real quick the hole with the size of the knots that I've got here. Now see, once this is folded into the loop, see, both of those knots are going to be inside that hole. Even one of these knots wouldn't pull outside of the hole, the way I've got this sized. That would be a real good way to do it. But once you got got the double strings coming through there, one knot or both knots should definitely not be able to come back through the hole. And it's going to be just as secure as however strong your rope is that you've got to make your loop. And paracord, shoelace, all that stuff, it's plenty strong enough. These little ukuleles don't weigh but a couple pounds. You don't want to go overboard with the size. Okay. All right, we have got this tied on here. All right, we got our knot tied, I think. We'll find out for sure on that knot in a minute. Something that I like to do sometimes. Well, I've got a Leatherman, but I suppose I've set it down somewhere. See, I lose stuff. All right. Anyways, I was going to use my Leatherman and see if I could pull that knot a little tighter, but I think it might be all right, just like it is. Always use you a pair of pliers, help, tighten that knot around that if you need to. Wrap it as many times as you need to. Tie that knot as many times as you need to. It's just got to be small enough to fit back through your hole. Okay. All right, now you can see my string is tied onto my loop. This is going to be my loop. All right, and now I'm just going to pull it inside the ukulele. And now this is the part that can get a little fun. All right. And one thing is, you want it to be tight enough that this is a nice snug fit. Okay, so now I'm up here to my loop. You can see my knot trying to come through, and I just want to very gently, see there, it just popped right on through. All right, so see if you can see that. Now I have my little loop coming through, and I'm going to make sure it's good and strong. See, my 2 knots that's on the end of my loop are stuck inside my ukulele, so there's no way that this can come undone, or it can't come out. As long as your little knots are not going to come untied. And like I said, that's why I use a lighter and I melt the plastic a little bit. It essentially just makes it a hard ball. That way it can't come untied. Now I can just untie my fishing string, my ukulele string, or my fishing line, which I guess my ukulele strings are fishing line in one form or another. All right. Now that is the finished product of what we're looking for. All right. We got us a little loop sticking out of our ukulele in the proper spot. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my loop, and be careful on this spot that you don't push your little loop back into the ukulele. Otherwise you're going to have to fish it out and start all over. Alright, now you can see that I've got my loop fed through my strap, and I've still got a little loop sticking up. Okay, so that's how you want to make sure your loop's going to be long enough to go through your ukulele. There's like I said, I say an 1/8 inch of plastic. It's probably close to that. It's probably a little less, but like I said, it's a decent little bit of plastic, and then it's got to be thick enough to go through the guitar strap. And then now we've got a little loop on the top of this. And what I'm going to do with mine, I think I might just take another little piece of rope and just tie a little knot on that, and that way it will be big enough that it can't come back out. It just fell off. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to stop this video. We've got our loop in. I can make another little short video and show how I actually attach my strap onto it, and I'll show you how I put my little knot thing on there, to keep the strap from coming back off. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching.